What?
Not really.
We're discussing what about the Bible?
Where is God according to the Bible?
Hmm. Why do you call yourself GodLogic? I'm just curious.
Because in First Corinthians it says that the wisdom and reasoning of God destroys the wisdom of the world, confounds the wise, the people who profess to be wise.
So what is that reasoning? Is God's reasoning different?
Yeah, it's above man's reasoning. Wouldn't you agree?
I don't know what that means. That's why I'm asking.
Would you agree that God's wisdom surpasses man's wisdom?
In what sense?
In
That
the
God is wiser than us?
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
yeah. So that's what the verse is talking about. That
Okay.
God's wisdom is greater than man's wisdom, and the world's wisdom it confounds the wise.
Hmm. Yeah. So can you explain to us how your concept of God being a Trinity is logical? How it's not three gods?
No, we were talking about how the Bible describes where God is, and whether or not God can, if He wants to, dwell in a temple or not. If you wanted to come in on
Mhm.
that discussion, you can.
Oh, so you can't answer that question.
Well, I like to stay focused on one point at a time.
Do you guys have a problem with me asking that question?
Yeah,
Well,
God logic.
I
For
know.
I'm on a
argument's sake,
specific
I
subject.
concede to you. I concede to your argument.
Well, that's fine. I'm the one making a case right here, Muslim physician. If you want to address me on the case that I'm making, then you can. You're not about to come in here and change.
Well, I wasn't here, so I'm just asking you a simple question.
Well, I'm telling you that we can talk about anything you want after we talk about what I was talking about. Are you
Yeah.
interested?
Well, I don't really know the discussion. That's why I'm
The
asking you my
the
question.
discussion
Because
was,
I was invited to the room. That's why.
oh, that's the mod's fault. Well, I'm just saying the discussion was on basically God's whereabouts according to the Bible, and I was also comparing God's whereabouts with in the Quran and in the Hadiths.
Okay,
No,
what's
you
your
weren't.
point? What's your point
Yeah,
you're
it
trying
was.
to make?
Before you guys kicked Dodge down, I brought up how
Yeah, what your point that you're trying to make is that God can become incarnate? Is that your point?
well, he can if he wants. But my thing is with the question that he was asking about whether or not God can dwell in the temple if he chose to, and the answer is yes, according to the Bible. I believe he can do
Okay.
that in the Quran as well if he wants to.
Okay, so what's your point? He can do it according to the Bible, so what's your point?
Well, yeah, well that's it's as simple as that. And if they had a problem with that, they would have a problem with the Quran as well. Since not only does the Quran affirm those scriptures that God can do those things, but it also talks about how Allah enters in creation.
Yeah, so your position or your argument is that this is the Bible's position, the Quran affirms the Bible, therefore we can't neglect or negate that position, correct?
Well, that's one aspect of it, but also I'm just going on what the Quran says, what the Hadiths teach, that Allah does enter into creation. So they can't, you guys as Muslims can't go against that.
Yeah. So the first point has been dealt with many times over, right? We can discuss what the what the Quran actually says. Does it even what does it address with respect to the Bible? What it doesn't. But this argument has been gone over many, many times, so I don't really think it's that interesting.
It's
And
interesting to me if you go against it. If you go against
what's
that
that?
idea, it's interesting to me if you are of the opposite position. I don't know how you as a Muslim can say or can go against that idea. You know what I mean? I really don't.
Go
Based,
against what? The Quran affirming the Bible?
yeah.
It's very easily it can be done. It's been done many times over again. But
You might.
you're just using tired arguments that really have no weight whatsoever.
Okay. Do you
Yeah.
guys mind if we or you my man you mind if we start another room with replays on? Because I feel
What's
like
that?
you mind if we start a room with replays on?
Bro, I'm right here. What's the problem?
I think that we're gonna have a pretty good discussion, and I want to save it.
So you can save it. You don't know how to record something on your phone?
No, you can't. I'm not allowed to screen record on here. It goes against the guidelines.
You can record, bro. There's no issue, man. What are you talking
No,
about?
it is because if I were to do this and like post it on my Instagram or
Okay,
something,
I'm giving
it's
you
weird.
permission to record me.
Okay. Yeah. So
So
let's fix it.
what's the problem, bro? There's no. I'm not a moderator in here. I'm not
I know. I'm just saying if
have
we
any
can start
authority.
if we
So
can start another room with replays on, I think that would be better. Especially it could be saved for other people to see and stuff like that.
yeah, but if you record, which I just told you, you can record me, then
Yeah,
you can post it wherever you want, and anybody can see whatever you want them to see.
I can't repost it on here though, bro.
What's that?
I can't repost it.
You can't repost it on Clubhouse.
Correct.
I mean, technically you can if you simply just create a room and play the recording.
That's impossible. Come on, Muslim fishes. That's doing too much, bro. Let's just start another room.
What's the point? I'm already
To
here.
record it. I'm saying to record it.
But I just removed any obstacle that you could put up.
No, you didn't. I can't put it everywhere, bro.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Where can't you put it?
All right,
It's recorded. You can create a room, play the recording, and anybody can listen to it.
bro. That's okay. All right, forget it.
I think you just don't want to discuss the topic which I originally asked you because I don't think you have an answer to it.
Why would I not want to discuss with you when I'm
Because
literally
you
able to
initially
send a recording?
because you initially said you were talking about something else, and then when I explained what the argument actually is, I'm
Mm.
telling you that basically it's irrelevant to even talking about the crux of the issue is whether or not the Quran affirms the Bible, which you've spoken to Muslims about time and time again, right? So I want to have a conversation that I haven't heard you had, which is how
Why?
do you explain how the Trinity isn't three gods? And I don't think you can answer that question.
Have you spoken to me before?
No, I haven't. Not that
Right.
I know of.
Right. All right. You've heard me speak to other Muslims.
Uh, yeah, I have a
You
few
have.
Muslims. Yeah,
You've heard
yeah,
me. You heard me speak about
yeah.
the
I've
nature
seen
of the
you.
Quran.
I've seen you, for example, speak to Sheikh Uthman.
Okay.
That's one example.
Well, I don't think we went over like the affirmation of the
I
Bible.
know. I know the argument, bro. Come on. I've been doing
Okay. So
this for a while.
do you have a refutation against that argument then?
Yeah, I do. And I have videos on my channel about it. It's a tired argument. It's been played out.
Well,
I'm wondering from
I'm
you
here.
because I never heard you speak about the topic of how
Mhm.
the Trinity is not three gods. And I don't think that you can answer it.
That's
And so
fine.
that's why I suspect
You
that you
you can think,
I suspect that you won't answer it.
Muslim physician. As I said before you went on this like little road here, that we were already talking about something, and if we once we finish what we're talking about, if you would like to engage, I have no problem talking about what you want to talk about. I
Yeah,
already
and
said that. So just because no, listen, no, hold on, please, please let me
I'm
finish.
here right now.
Yeah,
I'm
please let me
telling you
finish.
I'm here right now,
Yeah, you're here
and
right now. So
I'm asking you a question,
yeah, we can go
and
over that
you're
question
not
after you
able
answer the
to
first.
respond to it.
You can say that all you want. Why don't you answer the first? You can say that it's a
Because
tired conversation.
I've already discussed this issue many times,
Right.
right?
You've already
And
discussed the Trinity many times too.
there's going to be no additional information that
Let's
you are going to provide me
well
that
it's
I
the
have
same
not
it's this
already heard
okay,
before.
good. So it's the same thing when it comes to your conversation about the Trinity and the nature of
No, because I
the
haven't
Trinity,
heard
whether
your
it's logical or
response.
not.
I haven't heard your
You've
response.
spoken to Christians. I'm not gonna give you nothing that you haven't heard before. You've had debates on this.
Oh, you're not? So
So
then you're
so
not
it's
going to
the
be able to give an answer then.
so it's the same Muslim position. I have now just removed everything
So you're not
that's an
going to be able
obstacle
to
for
give
you
an
to have
answer
this conversation.
because no Christian
So
has been
stop.
able to answer thus
That's
far.
fine,
So are
and
you saying
that's
you
fine.
wouldn't be able to answer
That's fine. And what I'm saying is no Muslim has been able to answer why the Quran affirms the Bible.
it?
Why are you running from that?
You mean why the Quran doesn't affirm the Bible?
Okay, let's
That's
get
what you
into
want
it.
to say, right?
Let's get into it.
No, you just said, I think you misspoke. But anyway, the point is,
I didn't
it's
misspeak.
very
Why
clear.
the
It's very
Quran
clear.
affirms the Bible.
Listen, it's very clear, bro,
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
you don't want to have that conversation.
And it's very
It's
clear that you don't want
extremely
to have
clear.
this conversation.
I've had it many times.
Okay,
I have
and so
recordings
have
of
I.
those
I
conversations
don't.
on my
We've never
YouTube
spoke.
channel. So
Muslim position.
that disputes
We're
what you're
debating about
saying
debating.
because I don't see any evidence that you are willing to have the conversation that I am putting forward.
That's fine.
But
We can find out.
the conversation that you're wanting to put forward, there is evidence that I have no problem in doing it because I've done
How?
it time and time again.
Okay, well, I have streams where I've talked about the Trinity and the nature of God and how we believe in one God.
Okay,
So I can
so
say the
let's.
same thing about
Do you
you,
have
though.
a stream? Do you have
Muslim
a
metaphysics,
stream? Do you have a
Muslim
stream?
metaphysics. Please
Because
hold
if
on.
you do, I'll go and watch it.
Hold on a
If you
second.
do, I'll go and watch it. But do you have a stream?
Check my
Do you have
streams.
a
I talk about the
stream
Trinity, the
responding?
incarnation, how we
Do
believe
you
in
have
one
a
God. I
stream?
have
Do
streams
you
on
have
that.
a stream
My thing
responding?
is this, Muslim metaphysics.
Listen, bro,
No, listen.
relax.
We're
Just calm
debating.
down. I'm
We're
asking you a
debating.
question.
Good. We're
Because you
debating
just
on.
said you have a stream. You
Bro,
have a
we're
stream on it.
debating on a
You have a stream
conversation,
on it.
bro.
So now I'm asking
We've
you.
already wasted time.
Now I'm asking you,
We've
where
already
is
wasted
your
time.
stream? Where's your stream responding to the argument I just made?
So I have almost in every one of my streams, we deal with the Trinity because a Muslim brings it up. Same stuff, and how we believe in three gods, and we address that through the scriptures. How we believe
Okay,
in
so
one
what's
God.
your answer then?
So
What's your answer then?
we can get into that. I have no problem with that. Getting into that
It
after
seems
we
like
get
you
done
do
with our
have a
points.
problem with it.
Well, it seems like you have a problem with going over the first conversation.
No, because you haven't addressed it.
Okay,
You
so
can't
let's
point me
go
to.
over the
You
first
cannot point
conversation.
me.
What's wrong
I
with that?
guarantee you right now. I
Mhm.
guarantee you right now
Yeah.
that you cannot point me to a single example on your YouTube channel where you're responding directly to
I
the
can care
argument that I'm
less. I
making.
can care less what you think. I'm not about to
Exactly,
jump through the
because
rabbit holes with you.
you're
Do you
making the
want to have the
claim.
conversation or not, bro?
You are making the claim,
Muslim
but yet
metaphysician.
you don't have evidence for your claim.
Do you want to have the conversation or not, bro? I told you already.
No, I told you that already.
Okay,
I
then so
don't.
let me
I
continue to
told you
talk to
that. I'm
Yakub.
not interested in
Okay,
that.
good. So let me continue to talk to Yakub.
No, you're not, because I'm asking you a question,
I already
and
answered. I already told you.
you're either going to have the
I already told you what
discussion,
it is.
you're either going to have the discussion, or you're not. And if you're not, then
Yeah.
you can scram, bro.
Yeah,
Simple.
so it's either you can add to the conversation we were already having, and then we entertain what you want to bring up, or you keep muting out and let me talk to Yakub.
Yakub already told you he concedes to you,
Okay,
and that
good.
he's
So
more
then why don't
interested,
you jump? Why don't you jump in?
in listening to this other conversation.
No, if he concedes his point to me, then I'm passing it to you. Can
No,
you
yeah,
answer
and
the question, please?
I'm telling you already
Hmm.
that I'm not discussing that because,
All right,
and
fine.
I already
We're
explained
at
to
a
you why.
stalemate.
I already explained to you why,
Muslim
and now
metaphysics.
I'm
We're at a
asking you
stalemate, bro.
because you are making a claim that you have responded to this time
We're at
and
a
time
stalemate.
again in your videos, and yet you haven't.
We're at a
You can't
stalemate.
produce a single video
We're
for
at a
your claim.
stalemate. We're at
I
a
can
stalemate.
send you video links right now where I'm responding to the argument that you're making,
We're at a
but
stalemate.
you cannot show that
We're
because
at a stalemate.
you
No
cannot
problem.
debate this point.
No
That's
problem.
very
And I think
clear.
it's clear that you can't debate the point that your Quran
Oh,
affirms.
I can't
You
because I
can. No,
haven't
you
debated
cannot.
it
You
before.
cannot.
I haven't debated it before in formal debates and discussed it
That
on my
means
YouTube
nothing.
channel.
Debate it
I
here.
haven't done it. I haven't done it.
Debate it here.
Bro, you're not special.
I know I'm not. I'm nobody.
Sorry to tell you.
I'm
I'm
nobody.
sorry to tell you, you're not special.
You're
And the
right. I'm
fact of the
nobody.
matter is,
You're
you're
nobody. I'm
claiming
nobody. I'm
you have
nobody.
GodLogic as your name,
So step up to the plate of the discussion.
Your God is completely illogical, and
And so is Allah. Your God is completely illogical.
you cannot respond to a
Your God is
basic
completely
argument,
illogical
and you
and
have
immoral
failed
at that.
to address it. You have failed
Your
to
God is
address it.
illogical
You
and
have
immoral at
failed
that.
to address it in any
For some
capacity.
reason, he
So
affirms books that he contradicts at the same time. How does that work? How is that logical?
explain to me how your position
Can you
does
explain to
not
me how you're
result
a
in
Muslim
three
and you don't
gods.
believe in the Bible?
Explain to me how your
Can
position
you
does
explain
not
to me as
result
a
in
Muslim
three
why you don't
gods.
believe in the Bible?
Explain to me how your position
When
doesn't
your
result in
Allah
three
says that
gods.
you should
You
believe in Allah.
believe the Father is God, the Son is God, the Holy Spirit's God. They're
You
not
believe the
each other,
Torah
and
is a
there's only
revelation.
one God.
You believe the
So can
gospel
you
is a
explain
revelation.
to
You believe the
me?
Quran is a
So explain to
revelation.
me.
You believe the Psalm is a revelation.
Explain to
So why do you
me
reject our scriptures?
how. Explain to me how your position
You're not
doesn't
ready for this
result in
conversation,
three
bro.
gods.
You're not
You
ready for it.
cannot do it, bro. You're weak sauce. You've got no
Good. You're not ready for this
argumentation.
conversation.
You've got no argumentation whatsoever, and you're a waste of
Allah
time.
promises to
And you will
protect us in
never,
these
and you
scriptures.
will never come. You will never come
Allah
in any
promises
room.
to
You
protect
will
us in
never
these
come in
scriptures.
any room that
He
I am
promises to
in.
protect the
You will
Torah,
never
protect the
come in
Injil.
any room that I'm in
Muhammad
and speak to me
swore on
about
it,
this subject,
said he believed in
because
it,
you
and
cannot. You have
you are
nothing. You're
better than
claiming to be
Muhammad for some reason,
GodLogic.
I guess.
You're claiming to be
You're better
GodLogic,
than,
but
how are
you
you a
have
Muslim and yet
no
you go against what
argument
Muhammad taught?
whatsoever, dude. You can't even
How are you a
respond to
Muslim? How are you
explain
claiming
how
to be
your
Muslim
position doesn't
metaphysical and you go
result in
against the
three gods.
Quran?
Why should I listen to somebody who claims that
Astaghfirullah.
there's one God, but his position results in there being
Astaghfirullah.
three
How can
gods,
you? How can I
and
listen to
cannot
someone who
explain,
claims to believe in all the revelations,
can't explain
while
to
at the same
Muslims or
time not
Christians
believe in all the
how he is
revelations?
not a polytheist
You
worshiping three
literally walked on
gods?
quicksand.
That's the point, bro. You can't
You
respond
literally
to the
walk on
point.
quicksand. You
You
literally
can't.
walk on
You and
quicksand.
your crew, all you do
What
is
crew?
bring up your, you and your little crew, all
What
you
crew?
do is bring up your PDFs and your little Sam Shamoon arguments that you
What
ripped
crew?
off, which have been responded to for the past 20 years.
Right.
You have nothing. You
So
cannot
your
respond
arguments
to
have
the
been
LPT and the
responded
logical
to.
problem of the Trinity, and you have no
Who said
evidence
you that you
whatsoever
debated
that
on
you've
Khalil
ever,
Shalom?
you
Remember
have
Khalil?
no evidence. You
You
have no
debated that dude
evidence
against
whatsoever.
and
You
you
have
admitted that the
no
Trinity was the
evidence
contradiction.
whatsoever. You have no evidence
It came out
whatsoever.
of your mouth that
You have
the Trinity
no
is not a
evidence
contradiction.
whatsoever, sir. You have no
Why don't we run
evidence
that clip?
whatsoever. You have no
You had to
evidence
acknowledge that the Trinity
whatsoever.
was not a contradiction in a
Excuse
debate.
me. You have no evidence
You did that in a
whatsoever
debate.
in any of your
So why would you still
videos.
want to try
You
to
have
argue
no
that it's a
evidence
contradiction
whatsoever
when
in
you
any of
said
your
the Trinity
videos.
is now no longer
Listen,
a logical
bro.
contradiction?
Listen,
You
this is
said this
what's
out of
going to
your mouth.
happen. This is what's going to happen.
You said it out of your mouth.
This is what's going to happen.
You said it out of your mouth.
Either you're going to address the point, or I'm going to
Hmm.
remove you from the room.
Or
How
you can
about
just
that?
kick me out. You
Okay,
talk to
then
yourself.
bye.
Peace.
Have a
Talk to
nice
yourself.
day. It's
Talk to
clear that you're a
yourself.
coward,
I
that
would
you
love for
cannot
you to talk
respond to the
about your
argument.
Quran and your
It's clear
Hadith
that you're a
and whether or
coward, that
not
you
you affirm
cannot
the Torah
respond
and
to
the
the
Gospels,
argument,
and
that you have
start
no
owning up and
meaningful
standing up on your
defense
book.
to show
I
how your
respect the Quran
Trinity
more than
is
you
not
do.
three
I
gods. You
respect the
should
Quran
change
more
your
than you
name.
do.
You should change your name. You
Alhamdulillah.
should change your name from
Astaghfirullah.
GodLogic
May the
to
curse of
something
Allah be
else,
on the
because your
liar.
God is not
Lata
logical,
Allah on
and
the
you
liar.
can't respond. You cannot respond.
Lana.
You cannot respond. Sorry, sir. You moved to the audience. This guy's a coward. It's very clear. He's claiming that he's responded to the argument, but he has no evidence